Hi, my name is Beth and I work at the education department here at SUMA. And for January's Family Day, we're going to be doing still life contour drawings with Elisa. But before we go into the classroom to do the activity, we wanted to show you some of the art currently on display here. So we have some still lifes by Randall Cave. And as you're looking at these images, I want you to think about what you think the artist was thinking about when he made these. So what kind of details does he include? Do you think he made a drawing before he made the painting? So you can see there's lots of detail in the rubber bands around the asparagus, and lots of detail in the tops and the tablecloth. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today, is how to look at details when we're drawing. And then we're actually going to turn our drawing into a painting. We have a cool little trick that Elise is going to show us.
Today we're going to be talking about drawing. Drawing is something that anybody can do anywhere. You can use all kinds of material to do drawing, and today we're going to do something very simple. We're going to use just paper and markers. Now there's a lot of kinds of drawing, and drawing can be done for many different reasons. Some artists draw regularly just to practice, just to get themselves so that they can do a great job capturing what something looks like. And they just keep those drawings in a sketchbook or on their iPad, and they don't do anything with them other than using them for practice. But sometimes artists make a drawing and they keep working on it and keep working on it and turn it into their final work of art. So I love drawing, especially for kids, because it really teaches you to look closely at objects. So today we're going to do some contour drawing. That means that we're going to draw the outline, the shapes of objects. So I have several things right here that I brought with me. I have apples and onion and just some things from home, salt and paint and tissues. If you're doing this project, you'll want to pick a subject to draw. It can be anything in your house, like these objects. It could be something outside. You could look out your window or look into your room. It's completely up to you. But we're doing observational drawing, which means that we're looking at something in real life. So decide what you're going to draw and set it up or get kind of close to it. For me, I'm going to set up these objects in a way that I like. So I think I'm going to do this. You can pick some more fun objects if you want. If you want to do toys or tools or even food that you have at home, that could be fun. Okay, I've got a few things right there. And then you'll want to get your paper. You can decide if you put your paper this direction or this way. That's up to you. And then you can choose what to draw with. For my project, I'm using some markers that are washable. And I'm going to show you why at the end. You can use these and we'll do a fun project at the end. Any washable marker will work, or you can just draw with a pencil or a pen. So I'm just going to pick a random color. I think I'll go with this green. Now when you do an observational drawing, we're observing, we're looking closely. So I'm going to start by looking very closely at the objects that I set up. And I'm thinking about, what do I see in the very front and what's behind it? And I kind of work my way back, and I notice where things are touching or where they're overlapping. I notice the sizes of things. I have two apples, one is smaller and one is larger, and the onion is even bigger. And I am noticing the shapes. So my apples are kind of similar to circles, so is the onion, but this salt container is a cylinder, and my tissue box is a rectangle, or you might learn at school, a rectangular prism. So I'm thinking about shapes and sizes, where things are touching, where they're overlapping, what's close and what's far away, and then I can just start drawing. So there are two ways that you can draw this. One is by looking at the objects and looking at your paper quite a bit. But I'm going to start with a different trick that I like. This is called blind contour drawing. That means I'm going to look at these things, but I'm not really going to look at my paper. I'm going to draw the outline of each shape and only look at the objects and not at my paper. The result is kind of a wibbly wobbly sort of drawing, but it helps my eyes and my hands and my brain all work together. So I'm going to start that right now. I've been looking very closely. Notice how I have my body and my paper and the thing I'm drawing all in a line, and then I can just pick a place and start drawing. What's going to happen, like I said before, is that my drawing isn't going to be amazing. That's okay. I got to a point where I want to maybe pick up my marker and move it to a new spot, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just back up and keep drawing. So I'm only looking at, sometimes I accidentally look down. That's sort of hard not to do that, but I'm trying to only look at the objects. And I'm drawing one continuous line. That means as I go, I'm not picking up my marker at all. I am just keeping it down. And I'm tracing these objects in front of me with my eyes. What this does is it really lets me look closely, see everything, and notice the details. Okay, I think I'm finished. This is the drawing that I created. As I said, it's kind of funny and it's kind of wobbly, but I can see where I was really thinking about the shapes of my apples, my onion. This is some paint, a salt canister, and a box of tissues. After you do this blind contour drawing, you can put that paper to the side and try again. This time I'm going to do a regular contour drawing. That means I'm going to be drawing around the outside shapes of things, but I'm going to let myself look at my paper and back at my objects, and then at my paper and back at my objects to try to make sure I'm getting everything just right. The first drawing was a practice, although I think it looks pretty cool. The second drawing is the real thing. Let's see. I'm kind of starting in the same place, but I'm letting myself pick up my marker when I need to. I'm going around my objects. I'm adding details inside of those objects. When you do this at home, you can pick things to draw that you really love. I did this with my kids, and my 9-year-old picked some toys that he loved. He set them up and drew them. It was really fun to draw something that he likes and he cares about. So I'm curious, when you do this at home, what objects will you pick to look very closely at and draw? You can see I am adding my details little by little. I'm not worrying about coloring in the dark areas. I'm just kind of getting the lines. Now I kind of have most of the shapes in place, so I'm looking back over the whole thing and adding details. Anything that I see that I didn't get the first time, I see I actually left off one whole shape, so I can add that in now. But I'm seeing more details the second time than I noticed the first time. And that's why sometimes drawing things more than once can help you see more. Okay, I think that's one more thing. Okay, and there's my finished drawing. So I have a really fun trick you can do with this now if you want to. I sometimes like to paint, but you don't always have paint on hand. And I have a trick that you can do that's fun. This uses a paintbrush, but if you don't have one, you can maybe use a Q-tip if you've got one in your bathroom. But I have plain water, and remember my paper was, I'm going to turn it around this way. This marker I used was washable, which is super cool. So I'm going to dip my paintbrush in the water and trace over the lines. And since the marker is washable, what happens is that the marker lines almost turn into paint. I like this because it makes it seem kind of, I don't know, kind of almost like a dream to me, dreamlike. It has has a really cool quality. What's great for everybody, for kids and grown-ups alike, is that when you trace back over the lines that you already made before, it helps you practice something called fine motor skills. That means it helps you learn how to use your hands better. It's a little tricky to go back right on top of the lines that I already made, but it's kind of fun. So if you have washable markers at home, this is a really fun thing to try when you're finished making an observational drawing of something that you enjoy. And there is my finished drawing that I turned into a painting. Have fun with this project at home. Bye.